What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Do me a big favor, guys. Get yourself down in the description box and check out those links. The first one is that Moomoo link in the description box. Now, the good folks at Moomoo are looking to give you guys some goodies, man, if you decide to open up a new Moomoo brokerage account and you make some qualifying deposits. Let me walk you through what the good folks at Moomoo are willing to do for you if you open your new brokerage account. Moomoo is offering up to $1,100 in stock rewards and NVIDIA shares. If you deposit $1,000 in your new Moomoo brokerage account, you'll get $120, and $100 of that is my exclusive offer just to my channel guys. So that's a big reward, $120 in cash reward if you open up your new Moomoo brokerage account with at least $1,000. And then you can get what? Another $1,000 in NVIDIA stock if you meet additional deposit requirements. So get yourself down, guys, in that description box and do yourself a favor. Check out that Moomoo link. Now, I've been using the Moomoo brokerage app since 2024, and it served me well. Now, I'm no expert here, and I'm not trying to tell you guys what to do. I'm just telling you, I've used that self-directed brokerage app to make my investments, and I enjoy the brokerage app. It's easy to use, got a lot of resources in there for you. So if you're brand new and you're trying to, find information on investing and things like that, they got a great library of all types of financial information in there to help you. Again, guys, you got to make your own decision. I'm not here to make a decision for you. I'm just making you aware of an offer from the folks at the Moomoo brokerage app. If you decide to open up a new brokerage account, they're willing to give you up to $1,100 in cash/stock reward. So go check it out. First link down in the description box. Second link is going to be the Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. All we do in that community is help each other build wealth. None of us are experts. None of us try to tell you what to do, but we are there as a support group for people that are looking to build wealth through long-term investing and eventually get the passive income. So if you're somebody that's out there that, is looking for a financial family to wrap your arms around and share ideas with, best practices, golden nuggets, what's working, what's not working. If you're interested in being part of a live stream every Monday night on the Patreon platform where we do Q&A and answer questions and things like that, come check us out. We also have a daily community chat. It's real time where wealth builders are in there sharing ideas, sharing best practices, what they're doing, what they're not doing, things like that. If you're interested in that, that's where you can get it at. You also have the ability to have direct access to me to ask questions and things like that. That's the only place where I'm doing any type of mentoring on the internet is through my Patreon community called the Wealth Builders. So if you want access to me, unlimited DMs, etc., and a couple thousand wealth builders going in a direction of trying to build some wealth through long-term investing, come check us out, man. Second link down in the description box. We'd love for you to check us out. We'd love for you to join and be a part of our movement. Well, guys, the Federal Reserve is about to change millions of lives, man, forever. Now, that's my opinion. Listen, I'm no expert here. I'm no financial advisor. I don't play one on YouTube. I'm not one in real life. I'm just a guy that's here to give you his personal opinion. That's it. I go out and do my homework, my research, and then I come back to my YouTube channel and give you guys my personal opinion on all matters, building wealth, getting a passive income. That's all I'm doing here. And in my research, it looks as though there's about an 85% chance that the Federal Reserve is going to reduce the short-term interest rate, AKA the Fed funds rate, on Wednesday, December 10th at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Is that a guarantee? Absolutely not. I'm just telling you what the market, what investors have the probability of that happen. And they got it at 85%. Now, if you were paying attention last week, the beginning of the week, the market was sort of dipping like it had been for the beginning, you know, all of September, all of November, it was dipping. And then all of a sudden we roll into the first couple of days of December. It seemed like it was going to do more of the same. But then all of a sudden it started to change. And I believe the reason it started to change, and again, this is just my personal opinion, I believe it started to change and start an upward trend is because we had the ADP private payrolls report came out. I believe it was for November. And that report showed that the economy was about a negative, I want to say a negative 32,000 in jobs added, when initially experts thought it would be a positive 40,000 jobs added in November, but it was actually a negative 32,000 jobs. So what does that mean? Y'all already know the two mandates of the Federal Reserve. The first mandate is what? Price stability, keep inflation down, right? Keep prices down, keep inflation down on our goods and services that we consume. The second mandate is maximum employment. Now, if maximum employment is one of the mandates of the Federal Reserve, and you see November numbers from the ADP private payrolls report show that you got a negative 32,000 jobs added, the Federal Reserve is going to perk up because they know they got to take action to change that. And how do they? One of the ways they can change that is by doing what? Lowering interest rates, the short-term interest rate, which is the Fed funds rate. They can lower that rate and hopefully stimulate the economy, stimulate the job market. How do they stimulate it? Well, because anytime interest rates are lower, companies can borrow money cheaper. Investors can borrow money cheaper and then take that borrowed money and put it in assets. Same with companies. They can take that borrowed money and they can hire people. They can expand their product line. They can build another facility. So anytime you got interest rates coming down, in my personal opinion, based on history, normally assets go up. So that's why investors, when they see that ADP private payrolls November report and it's showing that the labor market again is weakening, now that puts pressure on the Federal Reserve on Wednesday to lower rates. And investors do what? They get excited about rates being lowered because now they know assets going to go up. And again, guys, it's my personal opinion. There's no guarantee of that. But if you go look at history, history backs that up. History backs up when interest rates come down, assets typically go up. It's supply versus demand. If I have more demand and I got limited supply of something, prices go up. If I got limited demand and more supply, prices go down. It's no different in the stock market, in my opinion. When there are more shares available in the stock market of companies, more shares available of companies, and you don't have a lot of demand for those, more shares, then what happens to the share price? Goes down. So when you look at the S&P 500, when you look at the NASDAQ, when you look at the Dow, the Russell 2000, when those things are starting to go down, that means what? Demand is going down, guys. You got more supply than you have demand. That's when you see those indexes go down. When you see those indexes go up, you have more what? Demand than you have supply. Now, again, that's my personal opinion. You go out and do your own homework because I told y'all I'm no financial advisor. I'm just trying to give you what my belief system is when it comes to investing and when should I be getting excited. I think right now, for me, I'm getting excited because I believe interest rates are coming down on Wednesday. Again, no crystal ball, but based on the data, I'm not sure how it can't come down based on the data now. The data says labor market is weakening. The data from November, which was last month, says the labor market is weakening. If the Federal Reserve wants to try and mitigate that, they got to do something to stimulate the economy, to keep it out of a recession, potentially. And what are they going to do? They're going to lower rates. That's my opinion now. We'll see on Wednesday, right? But the probability from the experts out there believe there's an 85% chance. Now, what did the market do on Friday, in my opinion? Let me show you. I'll not show you, but tell you. This is what I believe the market did. I believe the market recognized that, and the market started doing what? More demand. There are more more investors started coming back buying shares. When investors start buying shares, and there are not enough shares to go around, price goes up. So what happens on Friday? You see an S&P 500 closes at 6,870 points, guys. Guys, the writing's on the wall, in my opinion. No expert here, but I'm just telling you, you're almost at 6,900 points in the S&P 500. I mean, we haven't done that since October. Look at the Dow. The Dow is closed at 47,954. That's what the Dow closed at. Just a hair under 48,000 points, guys. Look at the NASDAQ. Closed at 23,578. So, in my opinion, you don't have to be some expert to understand that there's more demand now than it was earlier in the week, right? All three of those major indexes earlier in the week were under. They were down. That means there was more supply than there was demand. Now that's flipped, in my opinion. You got more demand than you have supply, which does what to those indexes? They go up. Why all of a sudden? I think because people are anticipating rate cuts on Wednesday. They're anticipating the Fed cutting rates by 25 basis points. I also believe they're anticipating in 2026, there will be a lot more rate cuts. All you got to do is go out to the Federal Reserve's website and look at their, what do they call it? They give a forecast. And I can't remember the actual name for it. But if you go out to the Fed's website, they give a forecast for 2026 on interest rates. And go look at their forecast. Their forecast says they're going to reduce more rates in 2026. That's what the forecast says. Now, will they do that? Who knows? But they project that they will cut rates more in 2026. What does that do? Rates go down, guys. Assets go up. So for a guy like me, I prepare for that. I get in position. See, I get in position. I make sure I'm in the market. I'm not saying you need to be in the market. I'm just telling you what I do because I want to be ready for what this Santa Claus rally. I think there's a Santa Claus rally coming. Now, I'm no expert. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm looking at what's happening right now. I'm seeing what investors are doing. I mean, again, you ain't got to be an expert to figure this out, man. Just look at what they're doing. Look at what they did in the beginning of the week. Look at what they did in November and look at the tail end of last week. Go look at the beginning of last week. Go look at November and then look at Thursday and Friday of last week. I think for me, it's pretty clear. And again, this is my personal opinion. No expert here. If you're not comfortable making your own financial decisions, go out and get you a financial advisor, a professional financial advisor to help you before you make any investment decisions. But for me, I'm looking at these three major indexes and they're looking pretty good. Now, let's go look at what? The Russell 2000 for the small caps. And let's see what the small caps are doing. Because see, I got some small caps I'm invested in, right? Like Serve Robotics, Navitas. Those two right there. You see what Serve Robotics has done, guys, over the last week. Think about it, guys. The tail end of November, where was Serve Robotics? Down in the $8 something a share range. That's where Serve Robotics was, towards the tail end of November. You go look at Serve Robotics right now, as a Friday, close Friday, Serve Robotics closed at $13.42, guys. Tail end of November, guys, the thing was in the $8 and some change range. All you got to do, guys, is just follow the numbers. Now, what else do I do to look at that? I said, well, okay, let me go look at the Russell 2000, which is the small cap ETF, right? Top small cap companies. It's called a Russell 2000. I'm no expert, guys, so go out and do your own homework. I can't do the homework for you. You got to go do your own homework. The Russell 2000 index closed at 2,521. Now let's look at the 52-week high on it. Now, here's the 52-week high, 2,540 points is the 52-week high. It closed on Friday at 2,521 points. So basically 19 points lower than the all-time high. And the intraday high on Friday was 2,538. So in my opinion, guys, this is just my opinion now. My opinion is, let me give you the 52-week low on the Russell 2000. 2,158. 52-week high is 2,540. 52-week low, 2,158. It closed at 2,530. You do the math. That's all I'm saying. Again, you ain't got to be an expert to do the simple math on this thing, guys. This thing is basically right at its all-time high. Not all-time, but it's 52-week high. The Russell 2000 for small caps right now is 19 points off of its 52-week high. You got the three major indexes all closing in the green. You got the S&P headed towards 7,000 points. Don't know if it'll get there or not, guys. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just telling you what the numbers are saying. It looks as though we got some positive momentum. We got a rotation back in to something. Now, will that last? We'll have to see. If this is my personal opinion again, if the Federal Reserve reduces rates on Wednesday, December 10th, I think we get a Santa Claus rally for the rest of the year. That's my opinion. Don't got a crystal ball, but that's my opinion. If we don't get the rate cut, that's going to be a disappointment to the market. Who knows what will happen? Probably a sell-off. That's just my personal opinion. You got to go do your own homework and come up with your own personal opinion. But so I believe the Federal Reserve is in a position where they can help millions and millions and millions change their lives forever if those people get themselves in position. If they get in position, that's the thing. You gotta consider getting yourself in position. Nothing will happen for you unless you make it happen, guys. Somebody is going to take advantage. Somebody is already taking advantage of this opportunity. I'm one of those people. Because as you guys know, I'm a time in the market, guys, as opposed to trying to time the market. I'm just in the market 365 days a year. So I don't miss anything. I don't miss any dip opportunities. I don't miss any rally opportunities because I'm in the market 365 days a year. I don't take no time off. I don't take a break. Because just when I take a break, something gonna pop and I miss it. Oh, I took a break for 2 days and poof. Just saying. Again, no expert here. I'm just telling you what I've done over 30 years. And again, a lot of people panicked in November, guys. I didn't panic. I stayed invested. A lot of people panicked in November. A lot of them just turned into panicking. What did I do? Stayed invested, and when appropriate, bought the dip. Now, guess what? If we do get this Santa Claus rally, if the Fed does reduce rates on Wednesday and we get a little Santa Claus rally, your boy got some nice little discounts. I planted some seeds and got some nice discounts. I got some nice cheap seeds. And I just sit tight and wait for them to big harvest. I just wait for the harvest. Well, Richard, how do you know the harvest is coming? I'm no expert, but all you got to do is go look at history. History says another harvest is coming. Because history says that's the whole point of the stock market is for the harvest. You plant the seeds. The purpose of the stock market is to get a harvest. But you got to be patient. A lot of people weren't patient in November. They turned into panicking. They let the emotional side of their brain kick in. And you know what lives inside of your emotional side of your brain? Guess one of the big things that live in there? Fear. When you turn that emotional side of your brain on, then you allow fear back in. Turn on your logical side of your brain, you turn on discipline, consistency, and patience. Emotional side, you turn on fear, pride, and greed. Emotional, logical. I choose to just be logical and know that, hey man, every dip follows with a rally. Again, no personal opinion now, no expert here. Go do your own homework. Just saying, man, I'm just telling you guys there's an opportunity here. And I'm gonna continue to beat the bell. I'm gonna continue to just beat the bell every single day because I know somebody out there may be listening and this could change their life. This simple message could get them to go out and do some research and figure out, okay, what's important to me? How do I get myself off this hamster wheel? How do I get myself out of this rat race? Somebody at some point may want to figure that out. Just saying, somebody might want to figure that out at some point in their life. I would imagine nobody wants to work for somebody for the rest of their life. I certainly didn't. I would imagine most of us want the opportunity to be able to retire, to be able to kick back and enjoy whatever we want to enjoy and not have to worry about going to work for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week. I would imagine somebody at some point wants to be able to have enough assets accumulated, then those assets can start generating some income, some passive income to kind of take some of the financial pressure off of you. It would be nice if you had an emergency fund, you were debt free, and you were also investing to what? Freedom. But, 99% of the people don't do that. And I know that seems a little big, but go look at the numbers, guys. You got 1% of the population controls 99% of the wealth. 99% of the population controls 1%. You got one person in this country that has more wealth than the bottom 50% of Americans. One person, and that's Elon Musk. His net worth is higher than 50% of the American population. One guy. But yet and still, y'all going out there buying Teslas left and right like it ain't no tomorrow. And this guy got more money than 50% of the Americans put together. That's insane. 10% of Americans participate in the standalone stock market, excluding 401ks and that kind of stuff. I'm just talking about like standalone stock market without the 401ks and all that. 10% of the population participates. 90% sits on the sideline. Wondering why I can't get ahead. I just read something online where, and again, guys, I'm just telling you, this is just a little research I do. Please go out and do your own research if you want to. I'm not telling you what I'm telling you, you need to believe it. I'm just telling you the research that I've done concluded that this is one of the worst times in American history for food banks because they don't have enough food to give to people. It's so many people that need basic food to live, guys. The food banks are just overwhelmed. They don't have enough food. I mean, it literally, the report said people are actually wrapped down the street. I mean, just wrapped around the corner, down the street, in line, trying to get food at food banks, but the food bank runs out of food. Guys, you do understand it's wintertime. Can you imagine no heat in some of these regions of the United States where it gets really cold? Now, I'm down here in Southwest Florida, no big deal, because it don't get that cold. But think about if you were somewhere like Buffalo, New York, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you know, Montana, the Dakotas, some of these really, really cold climates, guys. And you ain't got no heat because you can't pay the heat bill, the electricity bill, the gas bill, whatever it is that powers the heat to your house. You can't pay it. Imagine you got a family, little kids, and you can't feed them. You ain't got enough money to feed them. You go to the local food bank, they out of food. What are you gonna do? Well, but yet and still, if you listen to these people on these cable news networks, if you listen to some of these people, they tell you we're in a Goldilocks era. We're in a Goldilocks era. We're in the best. You listen to some of your political folks, they tell you we got the best economy we've ever had. They'll tell you the stock market is going through the roof. Why are you complaining? Problem is, you got two economies. Y'all done heard me say this. You only got 10% of Americans that participate in the standalone stock market. What about them other 90% who don't participate? What about them other 90% who have already blown through their retirement fund? Maybe they lost their job and they've had a hard time trying to get a new job, and they had to go tap into the retirement fund, the 401k, and it's gone now. Poof, gone. What do you tell those people? See, the thing is, guys, if you don't change something in your financial life and you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have an emergency fund, you're in consumer debt up to your eyeballs, you're one paycheck. You're one paycheck away from being in that food bank line. You're one paycheck away from not being able to heat your home. We're in the winter. We're coming into the heavy, heavy months for winter, guys. Some of you people in these colder climates. All I'm saying, guys, is now is the time to find a contingency plan. And I believe, for me personally, the contingency plan needs to be financial stability. I need to have a financial, safety net. If somebody took away my income today, I'd be fine. Why? Because I got assets. I got assets that I can generate income. Now, maybe I don't live the way I live now. Who cares? As long as I got a roof over my head, I can put food in my to nourish my body, clothes on my back, pay for insurance. I'm good. I don't need all the materialistic stuff, but I do need food. I do need shelter. I do need insurance. But if I ain't got no money or no assets to get those basic things, I'm in trouble. Because let me tell you right now, the 1%, they don't care anything about you. They don't care. If they cared anything about you, they wouldn't have sent $40 billion to some other little country. And they would have took that $40 billion and gave it to the food banks and made sure every American, every person living here has food to eat. But they don't believe in that. A lot of people don't believe in that, guys. A lot of people believe in, hey, do what I did. I made it, you should make it. I didn't get a handout, why they should give you a handout? Some people believe that. Some people do. And that's their prerogative. I'm just, only thing I'm telling you guys is it's urgent that you take a look at your financial situation. It's very, very urgent that you sit down with your family and look at y'all's financial situation and come up with a game plan. I believe right now is one of the greatest opportunities in history to be able to build wealth with what's happening and coming in 2026 with these interest rates. I think in 2026, interest rates are going to come down by another 100 to 150 basis points in 2026, bringing them pretty much as low as they've been since what, 2022? Just think back, guys, to 2020, when the pandemic came upon us, when the Federal Reserve took interest rates to zero. What did that unleash? Think about the real estate market, what it did to the real estate market. Interest rates went to basically, mortgage rates went to what, 2%, 2.5% for a 30-year fixed mortgage? Fed funds rate went to zero. What did it do? It created so much demand that from 2020 to 2025, the real estate market went up 50%. That's the type of demand interest rates going to zero did for the economy. I'm not saying interest rates will go to zero in 2026, but what I'm telling you is if you go listen to your president, Trump, if you go listen to Trump, Trump has already went on record saying he believes interest rates should be at least 200 basis points lower. This is what the sitting president of the United States said. He's been attacking Jerome Powell all of 2025, calling him too late Powell because Powell will not listen to him and lower rates as fast as Trump wants them. Guess what's happening in 2026? Jerome Powell, as the Federal Reserve Chairman, his tenure is over. His time as Federal Reserve Chairman will be done, I believe, in May of 2026. Guess who's the front runner to replace Jerome Powell? A guy goes by the name of Kevin Hassett. And guess who he worked for? President Trump. And he's 1,000% loyalist. 1,000%, not 100%, 1,000% President Trump loyalist. Guess what's going to happen when Trump places him as Federal Reserve Chair? Plus, Trump already got another dude in there already. I can't remember his name, Steven something. He's already there. You already got Chris Waller, another Fed voting member, Trump loyalist, and you got a couple more of them. What's going to happen is, in my opinion, now this is my personal opinion, between January and May, Trump going to get some more people on that FOC voting committee. Then he's going to bring in Hassett to replace Powell. And then that's what I believe is going to happen. Because rates going to start coming down, man. And y'all just go back to 2020, guys. I'm telling you, I'm no expert here, but I am a guy that's not afraid to go out and do his own critical thinking. I'm not afraid to go out and do my own homework. See, I'm not so lazy intellectually that I just sit here and listen to people and I just believe what they tell me to believe. I'm not that intellectually lazy. See, at least I'll go back and I'll say, you know something? What in the world would happen if interest rates came down to 1%, Fed funds rate, 1%, 1.5%? Go back to the pandemic when they took rates to zero and watched what happened from pandemic around March 2020 to the end of 2021. Go see what happened to real estate prices. They went up 50%, guys, in 5 years. They're not going back down unless you have another great financial crisis. Unless you get one of them, they're not going back down to pre-pandemic prices. That's done. So anybody waiting, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait, they're gonna come back down to pre-pandemic prices. Nope, not in my opinion, they're not even coming close. So all I'm saying is, Go do you some research. Go take a look at what how interest rates stimulated the economy during the pandemic. Then say to yourself, okay, I already know President Trump wants to get interest rates as close to zero. I believe if he can pull it off, guys, he'll get them to zero in 2026. I think if he can pull it off. I truly believe if President Trump can get away with it, if he can get this thing set up the way he wants it set up, there's no reason I don't see him taking interest rates to zero to promote his political agenda, his economic agenda, whatever. Because see, the wealthy, they know when interest rates go to zero, it's going to be a bonanza. Because see, these people are not afraid to execute. They're not afraid to do what's necessary in order to increase their wealth. For some reason, the 99%, we are afraid. We're afraid to do that. But they're not. So they have an incentive for rates to go to zero. They want interest rates to zero. See, these wealthy people don't care anything about inflation. They don't. They don't care anything about inflation. The only people that care about inflation is you and me. Why? Because we live in paycheck to paycheck. So if something goes up $2 a carton or $2 or whatever, we notice it because we live in paycheck to paycheck. These wealthy people don't care anything about eggs being whatever eggs is. They don't care. They don't care about gasoline being XYZ. They don't care about electricity or energy being XYZ. They don't care about any of that because they're wealthy. Their assets pay for their lifestyle. And they're not afraid to go out and level up and multiply more and make more wealth. Why do you think the richest people in the world that live right here in the United States, why do you think they're at the White House all the time? Why do you think at least 5 of the Magnificent 7 CEOs are frequently at the White House doing little press ops with President Trump? Why do you think they're there? These are the richest people in the world now. But why do you think they're there? Think about that. Go do you some research and do some critical thinking and put that together. Why do you think the world's richest men, 5 of them, richest men in the world, are at the White House frequently? Why do you think they're donating to build this ballroom at the White House? Why do you think the Apple CEO, Tim Cook, has been to the White House several times, giving Trump plaques and all kind of little stuff, saying they're going to $500 billion, blah, 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 blah. Why do you think they're there? Let me tell you a little secret. Now, this is my opinion. You know why Tim Cook is there? Because, see, Tim Cook understands these tariffs will wreck their business. So guess what he gets? He gets exemptions. See, when he goes to the White House and he curries favor with President Trump and he gives him these gifts and he's telling them, see, President Trump loves a nice photo op. He also wants these CEOs to come on record and say they're going to give $500 billion. Now, whether they get it or not is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. He just wants it on the record. So then when he needs to pull it out and use it, he can. But what does that do for Tim Cook if he bends the knee and does that? He gets exemptions. See, now Tim Cook can go over to India. He can go over to there and build these factories and make his iPhones over there and not have to worry about Trump messing with him. But now if he don't go to the White House and bend the knee, guess what Trump gonna do to him? Trump gonna hit him over the head with that hammer, that tariff hammer. See, he's gonna hit him over the head with that tariff hammer. Tim Cook don't want that, nor does Apple shareholders want that. It ain't just Tim Cook, it's the shareholders. You guys better learn this game, man. You guys better figure out this game and learn what's happening right now. Y'all over here fighting these battles and don't even know what's really happening. Oh, why would Zuckerberg be at the... Are you serious, guys? You know, dog, just think about it. Critically think. Why would Zuckerberg be there? He's there so he can get something. He wants an exemption for something. He wants red tape taken away for something. He wants something deregulated. They all know how to curry favor with President Trump. Say you're gonna donate to the whatever that thing he building at the White House. Donate to that. Then also go on record and say you're gonna give a bunch of money to the United States, whatever. Bring him something, do a photo op with him, boom. Now you get whatever you want. See, this is how the wealthy roll, guys. But yet and still we sit here and do nothing. We sit here and we got food banks running out of food and people wrapped around the corner hungry. But we're the richest country in the world. We got the most billionaires in the world that live in America. We have the most millionaires in the world that live in America, but yet and still we have empty food banks and people wrapped around the corner with no food. We have potentially millions and millions and millions of Americans on December 31st, 2025, will lose their Affordable Care Act subsidies, which in turn mean they're going to lose their insurance. But yet and still, we're the richest country in the world. We got more millionaires, more billionaires than anybody. We got 6 of the most valuable companies in the world by market cap in America. But yet and still, you got millions of people who are going to be without insurance as of December 31st, 2025, when those Obamacare subsidies go away. Because they're going to go away. Why? Because the 1% don't care if y'all get any subsidies. You better start caring, though. You better figure out a new subsidy. And I call it wealth. I call it financial freedom is my subsidy. I'm not going to worry about no Obamacare subsidy. And I'm not saying other people don't worry about it. I'm just telling y'all guys, you have an opportunity to remove yourself from that dependency. A lot of y'all do. Now, a lot of y'all won't, and that's okay. You do what you want to do. But I'm just telling you, man, there's no greater opportunity than right now to change something in your life. But you better figure out the rules to this game. In my opinion, I just gave them to you. Rule number 1, the 1% don't care anything about you. They don't care about you ain't got no food in your refrigerator. They don't care that you can't pay your gas or electric bill to get heat in your house in the winter. They don't care. Now, of course, they're going to come on TV and tell you they care, but yet and still they do nothing for you. They're going to tell you it's the greatest economy in the world, the stock market. Look at the stock market. That tells you we got the greatest everything. What they don't tell you is 90% of y'all don't even participate in the stock market. It's the top 10% that participate. The top 10% of people in this country do what? Drive 50% of our what? GDP. Top 10% of people in this country drive 50% of the GDP. What does that tell you? Y'all other 50 down at the bottom, they don't really care about y'all. They don't really care. You got 7 or 8 companies in the stock market that are just driving this thing to the moon. And you think that's going to stop? No, it's not going to stop. Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Alphabet, Nvidia, Tesla, they're not going to stop. These hyperscalers, these mega caps, building out these large language models and these data centers, they're not going to stop. See, what they're not telling you is even though Meta, let me give you all the numbers. Let me give you we're going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here and let you guys go. But let me give you all the numbers on Meta real quick. Let me give you the numbers on Meta. Because see, I think some of us are missing this and we need to figure this out. Let's get the numbers on Meta. Let's get the numbers on Meta through September. Here you go. Here are the numbers on Meta through September, guys. Third quarter numbers. Here go third quarter numbers. They did $51 billion in revenue. 2.7 billion was net income. So they did 51 billion in revenue. They did over 2.7 billion in income. Now, don't get me wrong, that's down year over year. But you still did $51 billion, and they're still set to spend about $70 billion in 2025 on AI build out, AI infrastructure. See, even though they're spending 70-something billion dollars, they're still doing $51 billion in one quarter. So if I extrapolate that out over a full year, they're going to do about $200 billion in revenue. That's Meta. And that ain't even the biggest Mag 7 company. That's not even the biggest Mag 7 company. They got a $1.70 trillion market cap. What do you think about NVIDIA with almost a $5 trillion market cap? What do you think about Microsoft with with a $4 trillion market cap? What do you think about Apple with almost a $4 trillion market cap? What do you think about Alphabet, aka Google, with a $3 trillion market cap? It's not going to stop, guys. Y'all can listen to all the propaganda you want. It's not going to stop. In my opinion, now it's going to keep up, up, up. My job is to get myself in position to take advantage of whatever's coming. And I think something's coming in 26, man. All I'm asking you to do is look at your financial situation. If you're comfortable where you're at today and you feel like I don't need to do nothing, don't do nothing. But if you got a situation where you miss one paycheck, you miss two paychecks, you're on skid row, you better do something. You better figure out something, guys, because these people are not going to save you. These people are not going to save you. You better pay attention to what's going on in your area. You better go look at them, go to them food banks in your local area that you live in. Go talk to these people that run these food banks. If you don't believe me, go talk to them. Go talk to these people that run these food banks in your local area. Go to some of these places for like homeless shelters and like Salvation Army and places like that help people who fell on hard times. Go to some of these places and talk to the people that run these organizations and let them enlighten you. It's bad out there, guys. All I'm telling you is the only way you survive this thing is you better start figuring out how you're going to protect yourself financially. Government's not going to help you. I'm just going to let you know that right now. I got no problem with our government. I got no problem with nobody. I'm just telling you, in my opinion, the government is not going to help you. They're not going to save you. Whatever this little tariff rebate check or tariff dividend check they telling y'all they're going to give y'all, that's not going to help y'all. Matter of fact, I doubt you're going to even get that. Because where are you going to get the income from? Okay, we're going to give out $2,000. This is the last thing and I'm out of here. We're going to give out $2,000 tariff dividend checks. Okay, great. How you going to pay for it? Oh, we're going to pay for it out of tariff revenue. Well, you've only collected, let's say you collect $300 billion in tariff revenue. Because right now you ain't even collected that year to date. You haven't even collected 300 billion yet. Haven't collected it yet. But let's say you do. How much is it going to cost the American people? Because that's who it's going to come from, us, right? We're the taxpayers. So they say it's coming from the tariff revenue, but who pays the tariff? Taxpayers. We do. Consumers pay it. Why? Because companies pay it, then they pass it on to us. So really companies, American companies, and people that live in America that buy those goods and services pay the tariff. There is no foreign government that pays the tariff. You guys better go out and do some critical thinking and some research because no foreign country pays the tariffs, guys. American companies and the people who live in America that buy these goods and services pay the tariff. So first of all, the 300 billion, that's money coming from you and me. See, this is the crazy part about it. You people think, oh my God, the 300 billion, oh, they're giving us something. No, they're not giving you nothing. They're giving your money back. How do you think they got the 300 billion? From you. You pay the tariff through increase in prices of the good and service that you buy. So the 300 trillion comes from us because we pay the tariff through increased prices. right? So the 300 billion comes from us. So we spend the money and then they give it back they give us a little piece of it back. They hit us with the tariff tax and then they give a little bit back. The problem is you're only going to collect 300 billion from us. But in order to give us a $2,000 dividend check, tariff dividend check, it's going to cost 600 billion. Okay, let me get this right. I wasn't really good in math. Didn't do very well in math, but let me see if I can work this one out. You collect 300 billion, but to pay a $2,000 dividend check, it's going to cost you 600 billion. Help me out with the math here, guys. I collect 300, but I got to give out 600. Last time I checked, 300 billion is less than 600 billion. That's the last time I checked. Y'all help me on my math because my math is funny, but that don't sound right. 600 billion, but I only collected 300 billion. And the 300 billion you collected came from your own people. Not foreign governments, not foreign companies, but from your own American companies and your consumers. That's where the 300 billion came from. This is just a 3-card Monte, guys, that they've been playing on the American people, the people that live in this country. And then they throw all this other crazy stuff in to get you confused. See, they throw all this stuff in about the attack. Okay, I ain't even gonna go there. So here's the thing. How do you know that, Richard? Okay, just go back to the pandemic. How do you know that? How do you know it's gonna cost 600 billion, Richard? How do you know? Okay, I'm not that smart, but all you gotta do is go back and do the research. Go back and ask ChatGPT, how much did it cost the American people through taxpayer money, because that's how they paid the stimulus checks, through us with tax. Where y'all think the government get their money from? Us, taxpayers. Y'all are like the government got its own pile of money it create on its own. No. That money comes from you and me when we pay taxes. So go back to the pandemic. Take the $1,400 stimulus check they gave y'all at the pandemic. Remember that $1,400 stimulus check? Guess how much that cost the American taxpayer? About $400 billion. Yeah. It cost us about $400 billion. How do you think inflation went up? Where do you think they got that $400 billion from? They printed it. They added $400 billion more dollars to the already money supply. Again, guys, when you have too much supply, not enough, pretty simple math. So they pulled $400 billion out of thin air. They call that the money printer, and they injected it into our economy, and inflation went crazy because it created demand, and we did not have enough supply for that demand. So prices go up. So that $1,400 stimulus check cost the taxpayers not only $400 billion, but it also ran inflation up to 9%. Okay, now let's go back over here till 2025 to this $2,000 tariff dividend. They want to give you $2,000 now, not $1,400, but $2,000. That's going to run that thing up to $600 billion. Where they going to get it from? They 300 billion short in a perfect scenario. Where do you think that 300 billion comes from? Money printer. Stealing from Peter to pay Paul. That's where it comes from. Stealing from Peter to pay Paul. Guess what's that going to do though? That 300 billion going to do to our inflation numbers. Through the roof. That's what's going to happen, man. If they give you all that $2,000 stimulus check, number one, the payment coming from you because you pay the tariff. So not only do you get a double whammy, they've already taxed you once, you're going to get taxed again, and you're going to get inflation going through the roof again. All for what? Nothing. Because $2,000 is not going to change anybody's life. It's not. $2,000 is not going to change your life. It's not going to It's not going to generate passive income for you, $2,000, guys. So all I'm telling you is if you want to help yourself, benefit yourself, get your plan together. Get your plan together. Get yourself in a position where you have a plan together, guys. You need a plan. I got a plan. I'm not saying my plan is perfect, but I got one. I got a plan that I'm executing. Every 15th of every month, I take a certain amount of money and I put it in big boy blue chip assets. Boom. I've told y'all on the last month, in the last month, I told y'all I was deleveraging. Already sold one of the expensive cars, gone. Got the cash for it. Guess where it's at? Boom. In the savings account. Ready to be deployed. I got one more expensive car to get rid of, and I'm doing that in January. Boom, gone. Take the cash, stack it. Putting this house up for sale in January. Take the cash once it's sold, stack it. Getting ready for this big explosion, I believe, in 2026. See, these rich people, they get in position, man. These people in position. We running around here arguing with people about a $2,000 tariff dividend check that we pay for. I tell you, it's just sad, man. It's sad. It's sad. We running around here arguing about a $2,000 tariff dividend check that we are the ones that paid for the $300 billion. Where do you think the $300 billion came from? You and me. All they doing is giving it back to us, a couple thousand back to us. All right, man, get down to the description box and check out that Moo link. I told y'all guys, the good folks at Moo, one of the places you can start to plan and get yourself in position is you're going to need a good brokerage account, a brokerage app. And I'm not saying Moo is the only one. There's plenty of them out there, but I've been using Moo, and they've asked me to relay to you guys a special offer that they have for anybody that opens up a new Moo brokerage account and they're willing to make a qualifying deposit. They're going to give you some cash reward / stock reward. So here's the thing. And that Moo link is the first link. So go check it out, guys. Get in position. Please get in position. Here's the offer. Moo is offering up to $1,100 in stock rewards and NVIDIA shares. NVIDIA, guys, is the most valuable company in the world by market cap. It's close to a $5 trillion market cap. Now, for whatever that's worth, go out and do your research on NVIDIA. Go do your research. Look at this company. See who they are. But the good folks at Moo are willing to give you some NVIDIA stock, and they're willing to give you some cash reward. Here's how the cash reward works. If you deposit $1,000, you'll get $120 in cash reward. Now, you got to go look at the details, and the link is right down below. Listen, guys, millions and millions and millions and millions of people use Moo. They're FINRA registered. I use them, and I'm not saying you got to use them. I'm just telling you, if you want to try out their self-directed brokerage app, click on the first link down in the description box. And if you're willing to make the qualifying deposits, they're going to give you some goodies. That's all. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. You just keep doing what you're doing, guys. I keep telling y'all, man, nobody is going to get mad at you if you want to keep doing what you're doing. But you're going to keep getting the results you've been getting. All I'm telling you is check them out. First link down in the description box. Whether you do it or not, that's on you. I'm just giving you the offer because they asked me to. And that's what I'm doing. Second thing, Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. That's my community I started in 2024. We got a couple thousand wealth builders in that financial community. And all we do in that community is help one another build wealth. We talk about things like we just talked about here on this video. The impact that interest rate cuts could have on assets, guys. And how to position yourself if you want to. Now, if you don't want to position yourself and you want to sit on the sideline and put a blanket over your head, you can do that too. Because ain't nobody going to care. There's nobody going to knock on your door and say, Richard, take that blanket off of your head. Why do you got that blanket over your head? Take it off. No one's going to knock on my door and care, man. My neighbors don't care. Guess what my neighbors care about? Their wealth. They don't care if I don't build no wealth. They don't care if I get evicted. They don't care if I lose everything. They don't care. I should care. Oh, No one cares. Oh, my government doesn't care. Our government doesn't. No, they don't care. They're never going to care. You should care. Better yet, you should do something to change the situation. So that's what we do in the Wealth Builders. Second link down the description box. No experts. Nobody tells you what to do, but we hold each other accountable. No brainer. Get down in the description box and check out the links. No brainer, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. You can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy, get wealthy. Catch you on the next video. Peace.